I own two positive grid amps, the Spark 2 and its more versatile big brother, the Edge. Both, according to the marketing department at Positive Grid, have looper functionality. And technically, they're not wrong. In the same way, a car technically has a spare tire, even if it's bolted underneath the chassis and requires 3 specialized tools and a prayer to access. The Edge has no physical controls for its looper at all. And the Spark 2, well, has buttons on top, but using them in a live setting feels like trying to perform surgery with oven mitts. It's totally impractical. So, being the problem solver that I am, I decided to fix their design flaw with my wallet, and I bought this, the Positive Grid Control X. Because I wanted to loop and I wanted to do it with my foot, not by fumbling like I'm trying to order a pizza in the middle of a solo. Plus, you know, switching tones without having to stop playing is a nice little perk. Basic, but nice. So, for the unboxing, there's not so much to tell. You get the pedal, there's a USB-C cable included, and you get this cardboard pamphlet that seems more like a warning label. And then there's also 3 plastic overlays included. We'll talk about those later. First impressions though, I have to admit, this thing is impressive. It has some serious heft. It feels like you could dropkick it into a Coldplay concert and it would probably survive. It would probably improve the show if it hit Chris Martin in the face. That being said, it's solid, wrapped in this thick rubbery armor, so yeah, I really like it. Up front we have 6 switches, nice clicky resistance, labeled 1 to 4 and then A and B, simple, elegant. On the back there's a power button, Bluetooth pairing button, USB-C charging port and 2 expression pedal inputs. Basically everything you need. And then there are these plastic overlays that work like this. The idea is that you can write on them to remember your custom setups. Personally, I can't see myself using them. First, because I have a memory that extends beyond 5 minutes, and second, if this thing is on the floor where it belongs, I'm not going to be able to read my tiny Sharpie hieroglyphics anyway. A for effort, F for execution. But yeah, so brimming with hardware-induced confidence, I decided to pair this beast with my Spark Edge and turned to the sacred text, this tiny little pamphlet that was included. On page 1 of the pamphlet, the setup instructions. It lists the Spark 40, the Mini, the Go, the Live, but yet no mention of the Edge. Not a whisper. It's like they forgot they even made it. So, fantastic. But yeah, I made the executive decision. I figured out the process would be the same probably as with the Spark 2. It had to be done through the app, right? So I fired up the app, turned on the Edge, and the pamphlet says to tap add device. I tap add device, and the Control X is nowhere to be seen. Of course it isn't. So I tried the pairing button on the pedal and connected directly to my tablet's Bluetooth, but still nothing. After poking around in the app, I noticed a tiny Control X tab hiding under my registered amp, tucked away like a dirty little secret. So the pamphlet, wrong as it is already a coaster. But great, I tap it and the message pops up telling me I have to connect the pedal directly to the amp. And my only option is to skip app setup. I mean, let me get this straight. The app is telling me not to use the app. It's a masterclass in ambiguity. So yeah, I long press the pairing button on the Spark Edge, a light blinks and the Control X finally connects. And in the app, the little Control X tab turns green. And then nothing, absolute silence, no onboarding, no hey, here's how it works, not even a condescending tutorial. The polar opposite of the slick setup for the amps themselves. It's like the main dev team built the amp experience and then they handed off the pedal integration to an unpaid intern who couldn't be bothered. So I just took the Control X and started tapping the switches. Okay, easy enough. 1 through 4 changes the tones. A switches between hardware banks, and B also scrolls through the tones. I figured it out myself, no thanks to Positive Grid. But yeah, I bought this for one reason, the looper functionality, and there was no obvious way to access it. So back to the app. I assumed I needed to customize a profile, but yeah, where? The pamphlet, as we established, is quite useless. I started swiping and tapping, searching for a hidden menu, and then finally in the top right corner I spot an icon so small you can very easily miss it. But it wasn't there before, so I figured this was it. And what a sight to behold. A list of 8 profiles, the UI looked like a high schooler's first GeoCities page. And get this, with my tablet in landscape mode, the way I actually use it, you can't even select the first or last profiles, and you can't even scroll. I mean, that's not even a bug, that's a lazy insult. I mean, how hard is this? Just make it look like the rest of the app. Let me drag and drop functions onto the picture of a pedal. I mean, I made a mock-up of this in 5 minutes. It's not genius, it's just obvious. But the nightmare continues. I'm digging through the different assignment options, controlling YouTube playback, sure, tapping tempo, fine. But looper controls, record, play, overdub, nowhere, not a single option. And at this point, I'm starting to wonder if I imagined the whole thing. Maybe it doesn't even work with the Edge. The frustration was so palpable, I could taste it, and I gave up and walked away. The next day I tried it with my Spark 2. Surely it would work there. I connected it, opened the profile editor, but same options, same disappointment, same lingering sense that I had been had. So with no help from the manufacturer, I turned to the last bastion of hope for the desperate and confused: Reddit. And there it was, buried in a thread, the answer. You have to long press switch number 1. That's it, that's the secret handshake. Long press 1 and the pedal enters looper mode. The functions are hard-baked, you can't change them, but they're there and it works. So yeah, to summarize my initial experience with the Positive Grid Control X. The hardware, it's built like a tank, very high quality, and it's built to last the war. But the software experience, on the other hand, is a complete and utter afterthought. It's clumsy, unintuitive, and borderline hostile to the user. And this pamphlet, I mean, it's useless. It doesn't have the correct information. It feels like the engineering team built a beautiful piece of kit, and just as they were about to ship it, someone in a meeting yelled, "But hey, did we make the app part already?" The fact that I had to turn to a Reddit thread to figure out the primary feature I bought this for is frankly embarrassing. Positive Grid really needs to do better on this part. They make great amps paired with a top-notch app integration, but this whole experience feels like they forgot. So, would I recommend it? If you're deep in the Spark ecosystem and you need a foot controller, yes, because it's basically your only option, and I mean, the hardware is good enough to tolerate the software's nonsense. And hopefully after seeing this video, you won't have to go through the same stupid, irritating onboarding journey like I did. And now, if you'll excuse me, I'll have to make some loops and maybe some therapy to schedule.